Oh man. All right, what is up, guys? It's your boy Sean Flac 2.0 coming at you live and direct, and we're talking about live. Here we are, first live stream here on YouTube for the Dadlife podcast. Here, joining me in the studio via satellite. Above me, I got Mr. Krinlee. Mr. Krinlee, what's up, man?
What's up? What's up?
Let's go. This would be to the right of me. We got Sensei Jon. Sensei, what's up, player?
What up, player? We live direct and in your ear, baby.
All right. And then, of course, last but not least, NjordGod Caddy Corner. What's up, Njord?
How's it going, y'all? Hope everyone had a great weekend so far, and it's a 4-day weekend at that, for me at least.
It's not 4
Lucky.
for us. I got 3. Well, I'm working, so let me say that. Okay. This is going to be our live broadcast here on YouTube, guys. I just want to say thank you for joining us here. Before we get started, I want to shout out to all of our patrons out there. Shout out to all the patrons. Your support and for what we've done is kind of pushing us to this next level of live streaming, trying to see where we could push the content, see where we could push the conversation here with your, 4 dads. And so thank you for everything that you guys do. If you guys are interested in becoming a patron, you can head over to patreon.com/ShadowPackWest. You start your patronage as little as $1 a month. I said it wrong before. A little $1 a month. What that's going to get you is After Dark or behind the scene episodes. Right now, we have currently 17 episodes available for you guys. And yeah, so on those episodes that get kind of controversial, we talk a little bit more freely about some of the things that we kind of expand on during the regular podcast show. If you're interested in getting on that, again, head over to shadowpackwest.com, and right there on the splash page is a button that will take you to our Patreon page. Let's see. Obviously, shout out to Shadow Pack West. You know, Shadow Pack West is in the house. Shadowpackwest.com. We got blogs over there, contact information for all of our creators, and of course, all the contact information for everybody here on the show. That's what I got as far as intros go, guys. Do you guys want to do any kind of shout outs before we get started on today's topic?
Well, I wanted to add to yours. If you're an Apple user, you're going to want to go to the Patreon website to sign up, because if you sign up through the Apple Store or the app, Apple's going to get a cut of that. And I did want to shout out Chiron79. He started a new journey not long ago. He's got a motorcycle. Now he's got a helmet with like a camera and everything. So he's taking videos. So I want to wish him luck on that journey.
Yeah, and safe rides, because riding a motorcycle is it can be dangerous, but I know it's a lot of fun. So
I think he's taking it pretty easy. So
yeah, okay, sounds good. We'll shout him out. Put some what's that called? We'll put his contact information on that there in the description when we shout it out. Njord, you got anything for us before we get started?
Man, I'm trying to rack my brain for it. I kind of did this last time in our previous episode, but it rings true to this weekend, especially because of Labor Day. I want to shout out all you people who work. Especially because you're near and dear to my heart, all you blue collar workers. Those of y'all who are in the Midwest or in the South right now, y'all been suffering this heat just like I have been. With the humidity on top of that, I know I've been playing in traffic all week and it hasn't been fun. But shout out to y'all. We are the heroes of this country. We're the unsung ones that we don't wear capes, but we still get things moving, and making sure society keeps going. So you guys are awesome.
Amen to that. Give him the horn.
Hey, that was a good one.
All right, Sensei, what you got for us?
Oldie but goodie. Shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who's the head of my life. Shout out to all you people out there, and enjoy your weekend. Be safe. What is that? What they always say on the highway? What's that damn thing?
Click it or ticket
on the side. Nah, it's drive high, get a DUI. What is it? Get a DUI.
It's drive sober or
high.
get pulled over.
Yeah, no. This one say drive high, get a DUI. That's what it's called. That's what it's.
That's the West Coast version.
Yeah, that's West Coast. You know?
Of drive sober, get pulled over.
Mm.
Right. Okay. All right. So today we are talking about football. It is preseason. If you guys don't see, I'm
These
wearing
horns
my
for that.
Raider jersey. You know what I'm saying? I know some of y'all out there going to be hating on me already, which is fine because I'm no longer a Raider fan. I'll tell you a little story about the jersey I got on. So anyway, we are gonna be talking about football. It is football season. I used to be a big football fan, but before we get into that, into other topics we decide on talking about today, what do we got to do, Mr. Krinlee?
We got to do for the first time, live and in person, what is in your cup?
Let me hit the horns for that. Hold on. What is in your cup? All right. Okay, so who's gonna go first?
You go first.
Oh, you want me to go first? Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Host yourself.
yeah, you know me. I'm gonna keep it sugar free in this moment. You know, and sugar free and sugar free. You know what I'm saying? Okay,
yeah,
so I
baby.
got that Canada Dry ginger ale, 0 sugar. You know what I'm saying? Let me get y'all a little. You know what
And
I'm
I heard
saying?
the psst.
Right.
I
yeah.
didn't hear the clap.
Oh man,
Yeah.
they heard it. Trust and believe, they heard it. Ginger ale.
All right.
All right. Njord, what's in your cup, baby?
So I'm actually breaking from my tradition.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
kinda-
Let me give him that. Uh-oh.
So normally I am sticking with that Jameson Black Barrel, right? Like we do what we do. But I've been out at a pool party all day to commemorate the end of summer, right? And I've already been drinking this most of the day. So I have some Angry Orchard.
Okay. Yeah. Nice and refreshing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, did you go swimming?
Oh, of course. I'm still in my bathing suit and everything.
Oh, okay.
I literally walked through the door 15 minutes before we hit live.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do, you know?
Right.
That's what's up. All right, I'm next. Today, we're going with a 2021 Louis Martini, Monterosa Vineyard Cabernet Franc.
Oh,
know if you can see that.
Shiznit.
You know, 2021. It's a red. You know,
Right, give him that victory.
I enjoy my reds. So yeah, that's my cup right here. You know what I mean? It's a little low, but we're gonna fill it up again when it get down to the bottom.
Okay. All right, Mr. Krinlee, what's the
For me-
surprise?
I'm not gonna tell you because you got to guess what's in my cup. You got to watch the previous the last 2 seasons, because it's not the same thing that I always drink.
Okay.
Say what?
All right. So for all you viewers and listeners out there, you guys know the drill. If this is your first time here in New York, let them know what they get if they guess what's in Mr. Krinlee's cup.
So if you guys can go back to last season and find out what Mr. Krinlee is drinking in his cup, and you put it in the chat or you put it in the comments, all right, I am going to hit you with a shout out, but not just any kind of shout out. I'm going to hit you with the
sultry tones. Okay, coming at you live, giving you a brand new shout out in this amazing voice. We'll put you guys in the credits and we will have lots of fun. So come on, make
sure that you guess what is in Krinlee's cup.
And we also give him the horns, give him that good old victory tone. All right. So let's talk football. Okay, so first and foremost, who is a football fan? Let's start off with that question. Okay, all right.
It depends on what you call a fan.
Okay, I didn't mean
or like
fanatic.
Okay,
because I'm
okay.
not. Okay, I'm technically no longer a fan, but I used.
I mean, I'm not watching.
Right. Okay, that's cool. Okay, but you like football. You enjoy the game. Right.
At times, yes, and I part of our topic tonight is why I kind of got out of football.
Me too. Honestly, me too. So
okay.
So let's talk about some football. I'm gonna go first. So I grew up in a 49er house. So you see that guy right there? This guy right here? He would be very, very disappointed that his son is wearing a Raider jersey.
So is that hold on? Is that what we're doing? Are we saying who our teams are right now? Is that what we're going around?
I mean, I'm just sharing my history of football.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So my dad was a big fan. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, that was his era of football. You know, we went. You know, I don't think we ever went to a football game because my dad was like, why do I gotta spend so much money when I could with 40,000 other people when I could be at home and watch the game for free? So we never went to any. My actually first football game I went was when the Niners played the Colts, and I want to say what is Alex Smith? Is that what his name was? It was like his debut game. That's the only NFL game I've been to. So there's that. So my dad was a Niner fan, and then I grew up in Oakland. So by default, I'm a Raider fan. You know, not a big fan of the Niners.
Right.
My dad was, I was surrounded with nothing but silver and black. And we'll get into why I fell off watching it here when we get into our secondary topic there. But like I said, I got this jersey, right? And you guys this is an authentic. So authentic jerseys are like $150, right? You go and it's $150.
Probably a little bit more now.
Right.
I got me one.
Now, mind you, this was at
Probably
the time.
like $250.
Yeah. So this is at the time. So, it's an authentic jersey. You guys know. You see that number right there? That's number 2. If y'all don't know who number 2 was.
Number 2, Derek Jeter?
Nah.
I'm just playing.
Nah. Number 2 was, to me, one of the Raiders' worst investment ever in the history of drafts. But number 2 is Jamarcus Russell. So Jamarcus Russell, he came out and he had one hell of a cannon. Al loved him, but this dude was trash. He had a cannon. He had no accuracy. He had no discipline. He wasted all of his money. He got one hell of a
Oakland
contract.
turned him out.
Yeah, Oakland turned him out. So this $150 jersey, I got for $1.99 from the clearance.
Oh
bin.
snap!
Yes,
Damn.
$1.99. So yes, I bought it and I'm wearing it proudly. So yes, that's my little just intro about football. Anybody else want to kind of talk about their football experience?
Hold on. Now, who's your team?
Me?
Who's your current team?
I don't have one. I don't follow football anymore.
He ain't got one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I stopped following football.
Okay.
And if I was to, what ended up happening was because the Raiders, they're doing what they're doing. They're not loyal to their fan base. They keep moving around. I'm not a big fan of that. They moved to Vegas. I for sure wasn't at that point. What ended up happening was I turned into a Michael Vick fan. So I have a Michael Vick, Falcons jersey. I have his Eagles jersey. I have his, the Virginia Tech jersey, his college jersey.
Right.
So I just followed him and then what I ended up doing was I ended up, oh my God, just had a brain fart. But I ended up, liking the way he played. So I like the fact that he was a running quarterback, and I like the dynamic of he kept the defense on defense all the time because they didn't know if he was going to throw or if he was going to run. So you had to cover both.
So with that, my question is, did you end up becoming a Russell Wilson fan?
No, because around that time when Russell Wilson got big, I stopped, and he played for Seattle. So I for sure.
Still, again, the play style. He was a great running quarterback and also had a cannon.
Yes. Like you said, by that time I was already falling off, and then the fact that he played for Seattle, I was like, I can't. That's just against my religion.
Man, I gotta go get my cup, don't I?
Oh no, don't tell me. Don't tell me. Okay.
I'll go ahead and get into mine. I actually hated football the majority of my life. I thought I just never had no kind of fun with it. the year that I got into football or started getting into football was the year the lights went out on the Ravens.
Oh, yes.
In the Super Bowl.
Bowl?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. So that Super Bowl was kind of what got me into like, okay, hell yeah.
Isn't that when they played the Niners?
Niners, yeah.
I think it was. Yeah. But lo and behold, you know, I like with most of my sports, I gravitate towards Seattle. I'm a Mariners fan. Look, I'm looking to become a Kraken fan. Okay. If you don't know who the Kraken are, they're NHL. It's the new hockey team that Seattle got. Not
Expansion,
moved
right?
to. Not moved to. It's a brand new team. They've been around 2 seasons now. So, and they actually made it to the playoffs already once. So it's pretty badass. But I am a Seattle fan.
So did they bring? Is that when they brought the Vegas team? They brought both of them together.
Yeah, the Golden Knights. Is that what they're called?
So
Or
Vegas
which one
still Vegas has a team, an NHL team now too.
Yeah, isn't it called the
Yeah,
Golden
but-
Knights? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
The Golden Knights.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, did they bring them around the same time?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
they're-
they did.
Oh, okay.
Part of the expansion.
To
You
create
gotta bring, you gotta
to
bring two. You
create
can't have an odd number, right?
right to create an even bracket. Yeah. But I kind of jumped on the Seattle wagon at the beginning of that next season. So I'm not a Fairweather fan, just so y'all know, because if you go let the record reflect, Seattle ended up going to win the Super Bowl that year.
It's probably because you turned into one of their fans, huh?
I mean, it's just me. You know how I do. But I came into Seattle with the Legion of Boom. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like Cam Chancellor, we had
Hidden.
that freaking defense was just insane. Who was Sherman? Richard Sherman was on that defensive line. And then you had Marshawn Lynch and
Yeah, Marshall.
Russell Wilson. Like, come on. It was the best team that Pete Carroll put together. And those of you guys in California, I understand you got some like bad blood with Pete Carroll, and I get it, but it is what it is. Nowadays, I think it's time for him to go ahead and retire and
Oh, he
do
did.
whatever. Has he officially retired?
Yeah, he's done. He's actually back at USC teaching.
When did that happen?
Retired last year.
Okay, see, I got out of things, right? I'm hoping that we can build another team. I am still a diehard Seattle Seahawks fan, even though you know the horrendous call to throw the ball against the Patriots instead of run the ball. That hurt me in my soul because that would have been back-to-back Super Bowl champs. But I also have a $150 authentic NFL jersey, but mine is with Marshawn Lynch, right? Because
Hey,
There you go.
you
I can support
gotta
that.
that's what's up.
gotta love Lynch. Gotta love Lynch. I mean, and then he went and became a Raider for a little bit after coming back out of retirement and was like, nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go back to retirement. You know. I love Lynch. Lynch was one of those individuals, even off the field, that I really loved. The way he handled the media,
I'm just here not to get fined.
or lack thereof,
Right.
was
Skittles.
beautiful.
Yeah, he's just a cool ass person though.
Yes,
You can
yes.
tell.
So that is definitely my thing. And then some things happened with the NFL that we'll get into eventually that made it to where I'm like, oh, hey, let me check in on my ESPN app and see, or my NFL app and see how they're doing. You know, I'm not actually watching anymore.
Right.
Huh?
Right. That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm with you, Sean. I ain't got no team, man. I just play fantasy football. And it's actually better for me because I don't have to root for my team if I have one. I can just pick any players and just root for them. I got about like 4 fantasy football squads that I got to pick. I got one tomorrow. one fantasy draft tomorrow, one on Monday, and then another one next week.
Okay. The big one's next week, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the big one.
Now, you know what? Somebody had described fantasy football to me because I'm not big into fantasy football, but it's like D&D for nerds, or for jocks is what they were saying. It's like D&D for jocks. How you like pick your team.
I can see that.
And you could like be like, oh, okay, this person got this many points because of this, and this gives you this overall points, and
Yep. You get so many catches, so many runs.
right.
I can totally see that.
Yeah.
You know, things they have PPR and standard leagues. So standard leagues, you don't get a point for the catch. It's just basically everything off yards. With the PPR, you get the catch. You can, you get a point. Usually, it's like a point for catch. It depends on what your commissioner puts the settings as for like touchdowns and stuff. But usually, standards is the points are lower. I don't like playing in them leagues because I need the extra bonuses. When I do something, when my players do something great. 40-yard runs, 40-yard runs with a touchdown, all that type of shit.
Oh, it makes it more
I need
exciting.
the point. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Especially if it's like a catch or something.
Right. Let's see here. Okay, so Krinlee, talk to us about football, man. What you got? Just a name.
Krinlee's like,
I don't
"What's
got much.
football?"
I mean, I don't mind watching. Like if I'm with people who are watching football, I'll get into it. But I don't watch football. I've never really had a team. Growing up, my family was either Redskins or Cowboys. My mom was a Redskins fan, so I was always like, "Go Cowboys!" And just because I thought it was funny.
Okay.
I mean, every
the
Thanksgiving
Cowgirls?
we watched.
Yeah.
Every Thanksgiving we watched the game. Because it's always Redskins versus Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Now, I do have a college team, though. My college team is the Oklahoma Sooners. Now, I love watching college football.
And I can't say nothing about Njord. Looks like he has a comment. What you got,
Nope.
Njord?
I am quite literally anti all college sports, and I think it's because of my upbringing in Southern California, right, where we've got like 4 pro teams for every single sport, right?
Okay.
That I never once got into any kind of college sport, and I'm moving out here to Arkansas. The Razorbacks are a big freaking deal to people, and I'm like, I could care less.
You got to go to a game, man. You got to go to a game. I'm even into high school sports. I'll go visit like at least one high school sporting event every year.
And they just had one of those here too, the Salt Bowl, right? Which is two of the rival high schools that are no longer in the same division anymore because one grew too big, right? Okay. But they keep that rivalry alive, and they have the Salt Bowl every year.
Well,
that was just last night, actually.
They just got rid of the Pac-12. That's 100 years of history that has been demolished, and like Cal and Stanford are now in the ACC, so they have to play teams like Miami, Florida State, and they got to travel to the East Coast now. So it's not just compacted mostly here on the West Coast because everybody wanted more TV time, and the Pac-12 wasn't getting enough TV time because people are up so late trying to watch football on the East Coast. So these kids are going to have to travel. They're going to have to be more of students preparing themselves for this travel and stuff in college. So this should be interesting. And also, they expanded the college football playoff to 12 teams instead of 4. So we're really going to have like a big competition. I think the first 4 teams get to bye, and rest of them, the next, they play for a chance to play the national championship.
Okay. Thank you.
I might want, like I said, that stuff intrigues me. I just don't have the time nor the effort. I need somebody like you, Sensei, to like keep me up to date because you know what I'm
Saturday
saying?
mornings, baby. Saturday mornings, 7 to what does it start at 9 to damn near 9 at night. You got 12 hours of football.
Wow.
So make sure Sensei Jon just announced his new podcast of sports commenting every Saturday morning.
It's funny because I had got away from sports for a while, especially having kids and stuff, and like the pandemic, and I just was not like doing it. I wouldn't watch no sports. But now I'm back, full fledged back into it. I'm into everything, especially when the Olympics came around.
Yeah,
I mean,
tennis.
I always watch basketball, but yeah, tennis was all. I haven't left tennis. Right now, the U.S. Open is going on right now, and this will be the first time in a decade, I believe, that one of the top three, which is Djokovic, Federer, and Nadal, will not be playing for a Grand Slam.
They will not.
Nope, Djokovic got put out yesterday, early.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to a tennis match? Or
No,
tennis
I haven't. That's one of my goals.
Have you all been to a hockey game? That's the real question.
I have.
I have not.
Okay.
I want to go to one.
You haven't?
No, I want to.
Okay, what team do you all have up there?
The Sharks, baby.
San
Come on
Jose
now.
Sharks.
San Jose Sharks.
Okay,
The Shark
then
Tank.
get your butt to a San Jose Sharks game. I'm telling you,
Man.
it's going to change your world.
Oh, yeah.
It did for me, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's a whole different type of atmosphere.
Hell yeah, it is.
Shoot, we
I
might have
was
to
like,
go.
it's exciting.
Okay.
If you ever find yourself down near LA, okay, I know that's a stretch for you two, but if you ever find
Right.
yourself down near LA, okay, around the time the Ducks play the Kings, that's a game you guys got to see.
Okay.
100%. The rivalry between those two teams is insane.
So I should not buy a Kings jersey? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I'm a Ducks fan through and through, so no, get a Ducks jersey.
Okay.
Get a Kings jersey.
Hey, all right, next week I'll be here in my Ducks jersey.
Okay. All right. And next week we'll talk hockey. How about that? Okay. Yeah. All right. So, other things with football. Did you guys ever play Madden? Any of you guys play Madden? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can't say that I have.
What's the last Madden you
I play
played?
this shit no more. Me?
Yeah.
I like 13.
Oh man, I played 06. That was the last Madden
yeah.
I
The
played.
game-
With
I think
Donovan
the game I
McNabb
played was
on the
called
front.
Tecmo Bowl.
Wow. Was it at least Tecmo Super Bowl on the Super Nintendo?
I don't remember.
Oh,
it was
geez.
on a Sega.
Okay, then
Yeah, you
it
know
was
what's crazy
Super
is-
Bowl then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Once my brother started beating me, my little brother started beating me, I quit.
Nah, I hear you.
I can't do this shit no more.
Oh man, I got a story about Madden. A friend of mine, or my brother, his friend, we used to play fighting games in Madden, and so we played fighting games. It was Virtual Fighter 5. Beat his ass 10 times in a row. He's like, okay, let's pick up them sticks, man. So it was a close game, but at the end of the day, it was Madden 04. Did my quarterback sneak with Michael Vick. The game was over, and I retired. And from then, ever since then, he was like, "We need to run it again." Nah, man, I'm retired. It's too late, man.
Retired.
I can't. I'm retired for
Yeah.
fighting games and football games. So you ain't ever getting this back.
You went out on top, baby.
Yeah, man, I had to do it. Okay. So as far as football, guys, like I said, the season started. I know we got some fanatics out there, in a good way. I mean, you guys got your team pride. I get that. But if you guys, like I said, if you guys are big fans, or maybe you're not, shout out your teams in the comments below. Who do you guys like? Who do you not like? I know some people love Denver. I know some people who hate Denver. I know somebody like Seattle. I know people that hate Seattle. I got a big
They're
person.
typically 49ers fans.
I got a bunch of those around.
And crazy enough, our local train here, they ended up tendering the interior of the train Seattle colors, and it's like, wait a minute, you're in
What?
you're in the Bay Area, and the seats are blue and green. Come on now.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Big Miami Dolphins fans. And somebody that I know I work with, he's a Buffalo fan. And I had to ask, like, you from the Bay, how did you become a Buffalo fan?
How the hell did that happen?
Right. Interesting enough. And that's why I like asking, like, how people became fans, especially if they're not from those areas. But his uncles. Yeah, right. But his uncles were Buffalo fans growing up. So that's who he watched football with. And that's why he was a Buffalo fan. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
If you guys want to see an entire population get behind a team, you all need to get out to Washington, okay? And I'm not talking just in Seattle, right? It's almost a statewide cult following, okay? I mean, during football season, one day a week, like the entire state turns blue and green, okay?
I can see that.
It just everywhere, right? And I know I'm not from Washington, but my pops lived out there most of my life and all that. That's how I kind of got into all my sports teams are from Washington. But yeah, you guys want to see general populous people getting behind their pro team, like some of these college teams, get to Washington. It's insane.
Okay. All right. So we talked about football again. If you guys have your teams or whatever about football, what are you looking forward to for the season for your team coming up? What are your predictions? Again, we'd love to hear them. We love to talk shit with you guys about them. Excuse my French, shite about them. Leave those comments in the below. And let's get on. We're going to transition over to our next little subtopic here. And it kind of relates to football, and I brought it up, so I'm going to go ahead and transition over to it. Do we got anything else, just generally about football? No,
Can't say that I do.
Let's go. I mean, I hope everybody stays safe, but it's gonna be some injuries this year. It's just inevitable. Go my fantasy teams. How about that?
Hey, it's kind of par for the course, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be some injuries.
Right, it is par for the course. Okay, so let's transition over. Okay, so however many years ago, and this is the reason why I left football, and I haven't talked to Njord about it, but I'm pretty sure maybe we might have the same thing about it. But football got a little bit political for me, and after the whole Colin Kaepernick thing, him kneeling and how he got blackballed, that's where I fell off of football. So not only was it, again, these jerseys are $250 now. You go to the game, to bring the family, that's $1,000 out your pocket. It just got too commercial for me, too unaffordable. And instead of wearing somebody else's gear, I could spend less money and wear my own gear. So that's where I kind of fell off sports in general. I love football. I love the game. I love the strategy. I mean, I could pick plays apart based upon their formation, or at least I used to be able to. So I love the game. But when it got to that point and the way that the league treated Colin Kaepernick, even after all the fallout and everybody kind of talking about the kneeling down and how he got it from talking to a soldier, and that's how he got the idea, and then he got branded as somebody disrespecting the troops, and then it just, the wildfire kind of took, and then it was over for his career. He's been blackballed for like the last 9 years at this point. So at that point, that's when I was like, you know what, the Raiders are not treating me right. The commissioner is in my opinion, and then just like that whole thing there, that's why I fell off of that. And during that time, President Donald Trump was the one that was saying that he was disrespecting troops by kneeling. There's more to it that came after that. I know a lot of athletes and in different sports all protested in that same way. And it was for the injustices against, people of color. That's what that was. That was the protest behind the kneeling. It wasn't he was disrespecting the troops. That's the story I got, and that's the story that I read. I leave that open to discussion because of the fact that we are from different parts of America, and what I love about the discussions we have that are like this also brings a different perspective to these topics. So, New York, did you have anything to comment? Do you guys had anything to comment about that? Just the kneeling situation in football.
So my big thing was I'm not a fan. First and foremost, right? Like one of my big things that I've heard all over the place, and I'm sure you guys have heard it too, right? Why does politics need to come into sports to begin with? Right? It's an entertainment factor, right? It is, sports are 100% there for our entertainment. And then the other thing is, I wish our veterans or our military members were getting paid more than these people, wearing a helmet, carrying a ball.
Right.
Okay. And the reason why I can sit here and say, hey, I understand where the disrespect to the troops comes into play, right, is because when were they kneeling? They were kneeling during the national anthem when they're looking at our country's flag. Okay? There's only one group of people who are out there trying to defend that flag, this nation, and that's our troops. Right? So I can understand where that sentiment comes from, right? Do I disagree with the topic at hand that they were wanting to talk about or bring light to? No, not one bit, right? Time and place, though. Okay, these are athletes that have far reach beyond just the field or the court or the ice or whatever platform they perform their sport on. These are people who have that reach. Why can't they talk about it outside of that? Okay. And again, at that point, hey, feel free. Promote your cause. To me, it's like someone sitting here trying to promote their charity, right? They don't do it in the middle of a movie, right? An actor is not going to sit here and try to promote their favorite charity in the middle of a movie, which is for our entertainment. They're going to do it off the screen. So let's do the same thing with sports. But the problem is that every single sport, once that happened with Colin Kaepernick, adopted this, and every single sport became politicized, except I think hockey. I think actually one team in the NHL tried to do it, and they got hit kind of hard with it, and no other teams followed suit. But it was a turnoff, right? It took the enjoyment. It took the... It brought a stigma to the entertainment, right, that I was enjoying.
Okay.
I want to hear Sensei.
Yeah, because I'm a Black American, and I'm gonna tell you, it's funny you said that, because every sport, when you put them all together, it's a bunch of black folks that's playing these sports. So what better, in my opinion, what better stage than to do it while on national television? You have to understand that when we don't have a voice as it is as Black Americans as much as white Americans in certain stages, certain aspects. So we don't own any teams. We don't, especially in the NFL, maybe in basketball, maybe, and there's some bunch of owners, black owners that, own a couple of teams, but they're all put together. When we want our voice to be heard, we have to do things that are off the wall. We have to do things that, will make a statement, because I didn't see anything wrong with it. Because at that time, I believe a lot of the times there is a lot of injustice, and there's black people getting killed all over the world. All over this country. Excuse the world. We're talking about this country in America, and what that flag represents to us is totally different from what it may represent to white America.
So I do want to. I was kind of fact checking just for a second, just because I am not knowledgeable, right? But Sensei Jon, y'all, is absolutely correct. There is only one African American black majority owner of a sports team, and that is going to be Michael Jordan, who owns the Charlotte Hornets.
And that's
And he actually just sold majority.
oh.
So yeah. So but it's our plight. It's what we live, how we live, man. Nobody's gonna understand it, but what it is we want white America to listen. But you'll never really understand because you never walked a day in our shoes. You know, it's totally different, man. I can't get you to understand. All you can do is listen to me and not just me, but just, you know, listen to what we go throughout, you know, history. What you know, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s. This shit is still prevalent still to this day in my eyes. And that's why we protest, and that's why we do things to be able to, you know, change laws, and that's why we had affirmative action. You know what I mean? It not only helped black people and black women, but it also helped white women too. You know what I mean? Because they were able to basically feed off of what we had. Because white women weren't even like, thought of as anything but just women. You know, so I mean, that's just my opinion. But that we like to, you know, it's the only platforms we have. So we're gonna do the most. That's how I feel.
Okay. So
So hold on. Because we have brought this topic up, right, and because I am for those of you guys who have been listening to the Dadlife podcast, I am the one who spurns the controversial topics. Okay. So Sensei Jon, are you ready to knuckle up with me for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And mind you, this is all out of love. Sensei, I love you to death. You're a great friend of mine. Okay. But I'm going to type into my Google right now. Okay. Actually, first and foremost, I want to ask, just for the recording's sake, what was Colin Kaepernick protesting?
the injustices to Black America.
Injustice, yeah.
But what specifically? Because there was a specific thing that he was actually going after.
Going on, yeah. There was something. You know what? I do not know exactly.
I don't know exactly.
I'm trying to spurn us. I'm trying to spurn us into this conversation because I remember what it was, but I'm not wanting to be the one to say it.
Okay. Well, before we get into that, so I just, as for clarification, so in my opinion, I didn't like the way that the commission in the league reacted to it and how he was blackballed. And then for you, Njord, I just want to make sure you didn't think that that was the appropriate place for that to happen, that type of protest.
Correct.
And then for Sensei, it was like that's the only place, you know, that they have as far as platform goes, and that's why it was appropriate, and there was nothing wrong with it. Just want to make sure.
Yeah,
we're
I just
clear on
don't.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And so it says to bring systematic racial and ethnic inequality closer to the front of Americans' minds in hope that such evils will be eradicated. But it's the same thing we've been fighting for years. So, I mean, he's just a different type of person that's trying to fight for it.
So
Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, all of them been doing the same thing.
I just want to
for
see where he's
years.
going. He's going with his point here, Sensei. Because he's asking something very
Yeah,
specific.
he has a point.
So I'd like to see where he's going with this.
The topic of, that protest came up, okay, and it was about a very specific thing. So this topic has come up, okay.
Do you want us to look it up and say it so you don't have to? Is that what's going on here? Or?
Well, I'm not, because I brought up the topic. I'm also wanting you guys to I'm trying to include you guys in all this. That way it's not just taking my word on it.
I'm here to listen. I'm here to learn. So that's what I like about the perspective. So just continue.
Listen to me. I'm gonna listen to you.
Right.
Okay. It was police brutality is what it was based off of.
Right.
Okay, against African American individuals. Right?
Police violence against Black communities.
Right. And what I am asking you to do as well is I am going to type in here, right? The FBI has a statistic of races killed or by police, okay, by law enforcement,
Okay.
right? And that's what I'm currently looking for.
So races killed by law enforcement nationally.
Yeah,
I see where
that's
you're
a-
going with this. You
What
saying they
I'm
kill
saying-
more whites than they kill more blacks.
what I'm my ultimate point, right, that I want to get at, okay, is further down the road. But yes, the first part of it is exactly that. That statistically looking at things, more white individuals are killed by police than black, Hispanic, or Asian. Okay. We don't hear about the white.
What about
We
the
don't hear about.
what about the harassing? Is there a stat for harassment and arrests? Not
There
necessarily
is
kills.
Right,
there is
it's brutality.
there is not that I know of. Okay, but
Because we might be
We don't
talking
hear
about two different subjects here. Not devaluing what you're saying.
Valuing kills.
Yeah.
I've heard of this before. But yes, we were talking about harassing,
Well,
killing.
Well, like I just want to if we potentially may be talking about two different things, but I want New York to finish.
brutality does encompass, right, fatal endings, does it not?
Not in all cases.
not always.
I mean,
No.
look at Rodney King.
I said encompasses.
I mean, yeah, it can include, but that's just part of it.
Right.
What we're talking about, what he was fighting for was social injustice.
Right.
You know, not
So-
just
okay.
killings, but just overall.
Yeah.
Period.
So, unfortunately for me, right, and again, this is my background, where I come from.
Right. And that's
Okay.
that's why
Just-
I want you to
just
finish your thought. Yeah.
This
sorry.
just this one square.
Yes, yeah. That's
Okay.
what I want to hear your because I have not heard this point. I'm just trying to differentiate between we are potentially talking about two different things.
When I start hearing about the protests that started with Colin Kaepernick, it moved into help me, you guys, the black individuals who the last 5 years have been killed by
Like
police,
we got George
Okay.
Floyd, right?
and the riots that proceeded afterwards,
Right.
or protests, however you want to describe them. I know how they were described to me.
Right.
Okay.
It started
those-
off as a peaceful protest and then turned
But
into
then
a riot.
fanatics took over, and I will say that, okay? Fanatics took over, okay? But those all start becoming a very fluid river, right? From where I'm at, okay? From what the information that I'm taking in, those were all like very consecutive, like all at one time going together. Okay, so what I took in, right, is, hey, this person was killed. Whether, and I'm not going to sit here and talk on the side of the police because I wasn't there. I'm going to be completely honest. I didn't go back and look at the footage. I didn't do any of that. So I'm not going to talk about the legitimacy of what happened in those instances. Okay. What I'm getting at though is, why is it okay to riot over, this is going to sound very insensitive and I don't mean it that way, okay? When you look at the percentages, a smaller percentage than the vast majority percentage, but no one cares, okay? That's, this is coming out really wrong and I'm not liking it. Okay.
Let me just tell you, you know why? Because we don't run any of this country. We don't have anything that we actually like. We didn't, for one, we didn't choose to come over here. And for two, we don't have any say so. We're the smallest, we're one of the smallest, we make up, 17% maybe of the population of America. And
Yet
we
also
still
has the
have a
highest
higher
crime
rate.
Yes, also has the highest crime rate too, against each other. Statistically
I ain't gonna lie,
speaking.
we are crabs in the bucket. I ain't gonna lie. That's
Okay.
one thing I will say about black folks.
God, I feel like I got a totally PC, so everyone, even live and recorded, knows this. I am not that person. I am just that person that also likes to spur debate and controversy. Okay,
Gotcha.
so don't be looking at me cross. Don't be looking at me sideways.
So let's get to some points here. So the first thing you want to ask is, and let's talk about this, is why is it okay to riot over killings of what you're saying statistically, that is less a minority than it is the majority versus them rioting over.
All.
Okay, say that again.
All. Let's not even just make it about white, black. Let's make it white, black, Hispanic, Asian, whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But it has legitimately just become one segment.
So let's talk about it. Let's talk about that section that I think I feel where you're coming from here. And again, I am obviously not not African American. I'm not black, right? But I do. But we're talking about generally these killings came from places of authority versus a demographic that was that is known to be harassed and looked down upon, and what's the other word I'm trying to find here? But they're more harassed than any other group, and I feel now here's the thing: I'm not going to condone rioting. I'm not going to condone none of that, but when you feel right, and this goes for anybody can think about this. When you feel like you're the most attacked, you're the most, and you try to ask for help, and you do all the right things, you try to, like, again, we've talked about this in other podcast episodes where a conversation for a young black man in America and a young white man in America are two completely different conversations. So when you are part of a demographic that has been trying to do things right, try to do this, try to do that, and play within the rules, and you still get the most harassed, attacked, and obviously you said not killed, right? But you're poking the bear, and you feel like you're not being heard no matter what you do. Now, I'm not condoning riots, and we just stated that fanatics took over these peaceful protests, but I will say this. And again, not being a brother, but like I understand you poked the bear long enough, and they're trying to do the right thing, and they're trying to do everything and they still don't get heard. I mean, how do you think the French fell? You know what I'm saying? They revolted because again, you're trying to do the right thing, and you're being harassed. Again, not condoning anything else, not condoning rioting or anything like that.
There's some motherfuckers out there that's doing the wrong thing too, and they deserve to go to jail.
Right. It's like I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna say, hey, fuck all the skinheads. Okay, straight up. Right. There are white people that I hate. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest about it. Right. They're into some fucked up shit. They're into some messed up shit. Okay. That I do not believe in, right? They make us look bad. They do.
I mean, that's just like the minority of any people that mess up. They, generally get all generalized because of that.
But they also get the most attention.
And that's probably why.
Right? Let's look across everything, not even just race, okay? We hear about all the bad cops.
Yeah.
When do we hear about the good cops?
Right.
Right.
Well,
the ones that are
the news never reports anything good. So.
Weird.
Right.
Weird. So wait, are we saying? Did we just all of a sudden come up with the fact that the news and the media is out to pit us against one another?
Of course.
Yeah. I mean, I could go for that. Okay.
I mean, I hear you, and I understand. Definitely, they can do that because that's part of what their plot is to do, is to keep us divided.
Right. I totally.
That's how this country works.
Right.
Is division. It's never together. If we all came together and kumbaya, we'd overthrow the government.
Right.
We wouldn't.
But it takes everybody wanting to do that at the same time. right? And I think that we've had so much division poured into us as a nation, as a people, and I'm not even talking about the color of your skin. I'm talking about where we live, right?
Oh, or our
That-
sports teams. You ever think about that?
Bring it back to football.
I'm just saying. That's another
Just
reason.
men, or even being a man and a woman. There's division
Right.
there too.
Right.
Now there is.
Right.
Now there
Yeah.
is.
Okay,
Yeah.
so we are running out of time on our airtime for our live. So obviously we're going to roll into our After Dark. We're going to continue the conversation in After Dark. But I will say this. So the other thing that I brought up, it was football related, was the portrayed disrespect of the troops by Colin Kaepernick kneeling during the national anthem. Well, there's just something that came out, and I found it kind of interesting that Njord and Krinlee did not hear about it. And so if you guys don't know, when it comes to disrespecting the troops, apparently just recently, I don't know how many days ago it was.
It was last week.
Last week, President Trump visited Arlington National Cemetery. And they had an altercation between his staff members and one of the staff members that were there. And very specifically in Arlington National Cemetery, they have a strict rule where you cannot film there for any political purpose, campaign, pictures, nothing like that. Doesn't matter.
I did not read that.
Oh, there is.
In the article that you posted, I did not read that there's a posted rules and all of that.
Oh yeah, so they were informed that no matter what, and it's in there. It's like you scroll a little bit further down, and it's inferred where the lady let them know what these rules were, and they said, "Forget it. We're not gonna." We were given explicit, permission to do this, and they weren't to film a political campaign video. And then, so anyway, they go there, they have this altercation, they take these pictures, these videos and things like that. And then when they asked Trump about it, they're like, well, hey, did you know this was going to happen? And he says, I was invited, and it just so happens to be a camera there, right? And then, the families wanted to take a picture with me. I took a picture with them. And then on TikTok, they released a campaign video from him at Arlington with all these pictures and videos that were taken there. So obviously what we're getting on art, which you guys didn't, which again, I'm not surprised at this point that when I pointed it out, you're like, I didn't hear about this.
Apparently my mom heard about it. Okay, so it is out in this area. I just also I don't pay attention to the news 24/7.
Okay. Well, it pops up in the feed, so that's how I got a hold of it. And we're talking about football, and he was actually the one that talked about, Colin Kaepernick disrespecting the troops. He's the one that started that narrative that kind of took fire, that had this person, that had him blackballed. And hopefully, the rumor I'm hearing is that him and Harbaugh will get together as coaches for San Diego. I would love to see that. Why are you shaking your head?
Not happening.
Come on now. Okay. So, but like I said, he said he's been ready to play, and because of this wildfire, he's been blackballed from the league.
He's never going to play again.
And that's and we know why. And so
he took the money.
Oh, did he? See,
he took the money from Nike.
Okay.
They paid him a large lump sum, an undisclosed amount, to do run those ads and everything. But he can never play. He'll never play.
Okay.
He even tried. He even came on to play with a team, and his scores, his times, and all of that didn't match. He wasn't up to speed. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so now
that has nothing to do with what he was representing and everything. It's just after the fact he felt like I ain't gonna never play, so let me get this money.
Right. Okay. So going back to the whole Trump thing is like it came out to us and he's disrespecting the troops. Because this, the Arlington National Cemetery is hallowed ground. It has specific rules. You're not supposed to use it for any kind of political gain. And there he was using it for political gain. So that was the article that I put out in the chat for us. Let's talk about it in After Dark, because as far as streaming goes, I think today's conversation was really, really good for the stream. We want to take this time out right now to shout out to Platinum Kid 100, who has been putting some chats in. And you're a great job. You've been moderating and typing in the chat too. So I want to say thank you for that.
Of course.
Did you want to shout out what he was saying? I can't go back and read any of these.
So,
Was there anything...
when we were talking about the kneeling, right? Platinum Kid 100 came out and said, someone said a long time ago, and I know for a fact Sensei Jon and I are gonna understand this reference, that one day every knee should bow. One day. So I believe they were just making the world practice it first.
Every knee shall bow, every tongue should confess.
Okay.
That's right.
So appreciate that. Platinum Kid, thank you for the subscription. So I'm gonna give you the horns for that. And like I said, what else can we give you? Okay. Give you the victory chime right there. But that's gonna be it for our streaming. I want to say everybody that chimed in, checked in. The stats were a whole lot better than I thought they were gonna be. So I'm super excited about moving forward with the live stream. Again, if you guys
is this gonna be an every Saturday thing for us now?
We're gonna try to make it every Saturday thing. Oh, hold on, I gotta switch scenes because we're ending. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. Okay.
We can't see that. But yeah. That's
so
what we're gonna as long as we're on, we may not be here every Saturday, but hey, when we are, let's go live.
Yeah, let's do it.
So we can go ahead and let at least Platinum Kid or whoever else is kind of lurking in the background that we should be live at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time next Saturday. If you don't know what time that is, your time zone, please feel free to reach out to one of us. You can reach out to me on Twitter and everybody else on Instagram, and we can definitely make sure to let you know what time your time zone.
Okay. With that said, again, I think this was very successful. If you guys want to continue the conversation, you got to head over to shadowpackwest.com, hit on that Patreon button, and that's where you could join up in our After Dark conversation. For as little as $1 a month, we're going to continue this conversation. I think it's a great segue going into someplace else. I want to say thank you for listening to this episode of the Dadlife podcast. And we hope that you tune in next week to next week's episode of the Dadlife podcast, where you can get your
Dadlife.
Okay, let's see if I can do this transition.
Dadlife.
See if I can do this transition right. Oh yeah, see, that's the one thing you gotta love about YouTube. All right, here we go. Okay, we're still going, and they still could hear us, but we're clear as far as the recording goes, and they're listening to some nice little outro music before we stop the stream, and we're stopping now.